Your city, your news. From the campus of the University of Nebraska at Omaha, this is the Omaha News. Brought to you by the students in the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media.
The Omaha City election primary is less than a week away. More on that is straight ahead.
Also happening locally this hour, a federal cigarette tax has been put into action today. The details on that are coming up. Good afternoon, I'm Chase Moffitt.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Engdahl. District 2 candidates has 4 candidates that want your vote. The main issues that they are using to get their campaigns are job creation and crime. Tone Doan reports.
Primary elections approaching, you may begin to ask yourself, who should I vote for? Well, if you're living within District 2, you may want to know what each of your candidates stand for. Better known as North Omaha, this district runs from Cumming Street to Reddick Avenue and from 60th Street east to the Missouri River. Historically, District 2 has been plagued with the highest rate of poverty and unemployment in Omaha. This makes job creation a major issue in the race.
Our number one problem is jobs. We do not have jobs in North Omaha. I want to see more jobs brought into North Omaha. I want to be able to visit with businesses.
Candidate James English agrees.
I want to get rid of poverty. I didn't realize the city of Omaha at this point in time has the most poverty to any city in the United States.
We have to look at it like this. If you had more people who were able to take care of their families and they were working, they'd be too tired to do criminal activities.
Not all the attention is put on job creation, though. Another major focus is reducing youth violence. Nearly half of all homicides that took place in Omaha last year happened in District 2.
If we don't get a handle on the violence, if we don't get a handle on specifically youth violence, almost anything else we do will be fruitless because, people are not going to want to invest. They're not going to be here. They're not going to feel safe. Our neighborhoods are going to continue to deteriorate. We have to get a handle on the violence.
During the course of this story, candidate Frank Brown had nothing to say when we asked him for an interview. When asked why, Brown said he just didn't want to. For the Omaha News, I'm Tone Doan.
With just days before the election, it's imperative to go out and vote. If you would like more information about voting, you can go online to votedouglas.org.
The primary elections for Omaha's next mayor are just around the corner.
With the days passing by to the big date, voters go out to hear from candidates for one more time. Laura Goodburn is live in the newsroom with details. Laura?
Thanks, Chase and Christina. The race is on and the mayoral candidates are fired up. Jim Voelkel, Jim Suttle, and former Mayor Hal Daub all had crime, taxes, and our economy on their minds. Metropolitan Community College hosted the 3 mayoral candidates to discuss the lack of funding to the college and their interests in being mayor. The Political Issues Forum gave the mayoral candidates an opportunity to make their case to be Omaha's next mayor. Jim Voelkel's main concerns for this race are
solving violent crime, protecting you as taxpayers, continue to invest in our neighborhoods, and finally to continue to grow our city.
His solutions for solving violent crime is to develop a
comprehensive community-based crime plan to solve the problems of violent crime.
Jim Suttle's focus for this race is
the crime and the gun violence and the gangs, the pension plan, particularly the spiking that's going on in the fire and police, and then third, moving up very quickly now because the economy's in the tank, is the concern about the $1.5 billion sewer separation.
Former Mayor Hal Daub is looking forward to being able to say,
we're a safer, cleaner, healthier city, and that together we beat the recession.
Voters will make their decision in the primary elections on Tuesday, March 7th. 2 of these candidates will move on to the general election in May.
Economic veil over everything.
Although the forum was held to discuss the lack of funding for Metro and what the candidates could do to help this situation, the candidates also focused on their issues. However, the lack of funding was mentioned, and all 3 candidates said they would be supportive in the legislative efforts to increase funding. Reporting live for the Omaha News, I'm Laura Goodburn.
Thanks, Laura. Since the issues are very similar for each of the candidates, it's important to look a little deeper into the candidates' stances.
There are 6 days to get to know the candidates, so do your homework before you decide on your vote. The race for the mayor is fast approaching, and one of Omaha's former mayors tells us his plans if he were to be reelected. Carrie Zom has the detail.
With Omaha's primary mayoral race less than a week away, Hal Dobb is unveiling his plans that he believes will make Omaha a better city.
That in the next 4 years, I'd like to see Omaha become a safer, cleaner, healthier city.
Dobb served as Omaha's mayor from 1995 to 2001 and was a member of the U.S. House of Representatives for 8 years. He says this experience makes him the best candidate.
I won't need training wheels.
When asked what issue he believed to be most important this election,
It's the crime issue. It's the murder rate, which is up 76% since 2001.
Dobb says we do need more officers on the streets, but it's not the only solution. Prevention work is also needed to keep young adults involved in things other than crime.
Bright futures, girls clubs, boys clubs, scouting programs. That'll make an impact, but we're going to have to do more of it than we've done before.
Improving neighborhoods and homes such as this one that has been abandoned for 5 years may also be a concern on many voters' minds.
The weeds in the lots, the houses in disrepair, the litter and glass and despair that you would see is unacceptable.
If elected, Dobb's plan, called Operation Many Hands, would be put into place to deal with these problems.
Omaha Public Power District, straighten up the light poles, clean them up, fix the lights, put the security lights in the alley. Public Works Department, clean up that alley. Come in and clean up the sidewalks. City, fix the streets.
Although crime and improving neighborhoods are among his top priorities, Dobb says city transportation also needs work.
We need to make our city more transit-friendly with liquefied natural gas buses and 4 smaller ones instead of the big belcher that can give us more routes and more frequency of transportation for people.
The primary election is on April 7th. To find out more information about all of the candidates, you can log on to votedouglascounty.org.
Of the 5 mayoral hopefuls heading into primaries this spring, the Omaha Police Officers Association is actively speaking out against one in particular. What has been deemed as inconsistencies between voting records and campaign messages has launched an advertising warfare between candidate Jim Vocal and the Police Officers Union.
It's important to see how politicians vote when they think nobody's watching.
In his most recent advertisements, mayoral candidate Jim Vocal promised to spearhead the effort against police pension spiking. However, this is an issue that the Police Officers Association claims to have been vigilant of for years.
We need to stop the practice of so-called spiking. We understand that. It's unfortunate that Jim Vocal is politicizing this issue rather than trying to actually fix it with police officers and with firefighters.
The Police Officers Association aired announcements such as this one in an attempt to counteract Vocal's ads.
Not politicians like Jim Vocal. Omaha deserves better.
Every election, the question arises, what do you look for in a candidate? Aside from the controversy surrounding the police pension plan, Hansen truly believes that Vocal just isn't the man for the job.
I think the mark of a true leader is someone who can transcend politics. It can rise above the politics and the rhetoric and focus on trying to solve difficult, complicated matters with the various stakeholders. And from what I've seen from Jim Vocal lately, I don't think he possesses that ability.
For more information about Omaha's police and fire pension, or to see the anti-Jim Vocal advertisements in their entirety, go online to fixpolicepensions.org. The Omaha News made several attempts to contact Jim Vocal for a statement, but all phone calls and emails were unreturned.
The Omaha community is off to the polls to vote for the next mayor. With 5 men running for the position, it may be hard for some to make a decision.
It's that time of the year again. Omaha citizens are eager to find a new leader. 5 men are in the fight to be Omaha's 50th mayor. Jim Suttle, Democrat, is a former chairman of the board of directors for the engineering firm HDR. He feels he is the most qualified.
I'm an engineer. I'm trained to solve problems. And I have been taught to identify what the problem is today, set the outcomes that you want to ascribe to, and figure out the strategies and the path on how to get there.
When asked what issues he felt were the most important, he said he had been building his thoughts off of what the citizens have been thinking.
Number one, the crime and gun violence, followed by close number two, which is the pension plans, particularly the spiking issue. And coming up very, very quickly is number three, the concern with the economy and so forth about how we're going to pay for this federal mandate on sewer separation, which has a price tag of $1.5 billion.
With 30 years of experience, Suttle said he can create a strategy to help budget for the two biggest financial challenges, the Rosenblatt Stadium and on the federal mandate on sewer separation. When asked why he should be voted for mayor,
I'm going to ask for the job. I was trained to do that at HDR. Ask for the job.
In addressing his specific issues, Suttle said Omaha's new mayor must fight to make sure the city is not left behind in national efforts to stimulate the economy. The mayoral election will take place on April 7th. For the Omaha News, I'm Amy Pfeiffer.
To check out our mayoral election coverage, tune into the Omaha News for updates throughout the evening on April 7th.
This fall, students enrolled with Omaha Public Schools will notice something different on their report cards. Not only will there be a grade listed on the report card, there will also be information about how the student is progressing. All students will be graded according to how they're doing with the state and local standards. They will not be graded against everyone else in the classroom. Students in pre-kindergarten through 4th grade will be judged as either beginning, progressing, proficient, or advanced, and their grades will be coded as B, PG, PF, or ADV. Report cards will also include charts explaining what's required to reach each level for reading, language arts, writing, and math. Students in grades 5 and 6 will begin to receive their level grades instead of number grades.
Smokers have been stocking up on their favorite smokes due to today's federal tax increase on cigarettes. The tax per pack increases to 62 cents. The federal tax on cigarettes is increasing in order to support an expansion of public health insurance programs for lower-income children. The average price for a pack of cigarettes is $4.60. With the new tax put into place, the price rises $5.91.
It will be another busy semester for the UNO Athletic Department after losing 2 key members of its staff on Monday. Both Athletic Director David Miller and Senior Associate Athletic Director Tom Freedy have announced that they will leave the university. Miller was named the Athletic Director at Upper Iowa University, and Freedy has accepted position at Nebraska Orthopedic Hospital. UNO Director of University Relations Tim Caldell talks about the timetable for finding replacements.
Chancellor Christensen will be chairing a small group for the athletic director search. He gave an interview yesterday where he outlined a time that he wanted to get someone in place before the end of the semester.
This marks the 4th time in 5 years that UNO will have to fill the position. No interim has been announced.
A Dallas businessman is helping the University of Nebraska Omaha students. Edward Pachar is a graduate of UNO and an Omaha native. Pachar is owner and chairman of the McCormick Distilling Company. He has decided to help students achieve a higher education in Nebraska and western Iowa with a gift of $1 million. The Edward Pachar scholarships are directed towards UNO students who need financial assistance to go to college who are also ineligible for Pell Grants. Right now, 75% of UNO students apply for Pell Grants. Only 25% of those numbers are eligible.
Taking a look at the stock market on this Wednesday afternoon, the Dow closed up at a little over 86 points, the Nasdaq was up 12.5 points, and the S&P was up 7.5 points.
It's that time of year again. Watery eyes, the sniffles, and irritated skin. Allergies are starting up again. The pollen count is up, and allergy sufferers are definitely feeling it.
When we come back, we'll show you how you can make allergies more suitable to your life. You're watching the Omaha News on the Knowledge Network.
UNO Television.
Students work with professionals who have all kinds of experience in the industry.
Lights, camera, action. Literally.
Get paid while you learn more about the TV business.
Work on all kinds of productions.
My friends who worked on TV crew last semester are now working part-time at local stations.
Working on TV crew is a great experience.
UNO Television. Student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on the Knowledge Network.
An estimated 50 million people or more in the United States suffer from allergies. Spring seems to be the season that gets the most attention from allergy sufferers. Danny O'Connell has more.
Though the weather may not be reflective of springtime, people with allergies can tell you that spring has definitely arrived.
Yeah, about the end of March, beginning of April, allergies seem to pick up. I usually go to the store and pick up some over-the-counter medication to help out with them.
I've always had real bad allergies, especially in the spring. I think it's because of the pollens and all the trees, and when they always go in my nose, and my throat and my nose are the worst.
But what causes these reactions?
Trees, grasses, and weeds, their pollens are more kind of powderish, light and small, easily disseminated through the air with wind, so they tend to cause more allergies and more allergy symptoms.
Allergy season for some can be year-round, but for most people it usually peaks in the spring and into the summer.
So what you can see here in green is that some of the trees will start pollinating as early as February and can extend all the way until about June in the green. The yellow is grasses, and grasses start as early as May and can go all the way until about June, July, August. Okay, and in red you can see the weeds here. The weeds can start as early as June, and the pollens can be around all the way till October.
I try to stay away from all the blossoming flowers.
I always have a runny nose. My throat's always rough and raspy, and it's pretty bad.
There's a number of different medical therapies we have to treat seasonal allergies, including antihistamines such as, from Claritin, Allegra, Zysol.
Now it's spring, and if you have allergies, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stay inside. You just have to be a little bit more careful. For the Omaha News, I'm Danny O'Connell.
Now, to be more cautious, you can keep the windows in your car and house closed, and keep an eye on the pollen count by logging on to the American Academy of Allergy and Immunology website at aaai.org.
Every life is valuable, and it's always a good idea to be prepared for any type of instance that can affect someone's life, especially a loved one.
CPR. More and more people are learning how to do it. When we return, we'll show you how some Omahans are taking action by learning this useful tool. You're watching the Omaha News on the Knowledge Network.
Hi, I'm Meshach Taylor, actor and public television supporter, encouraging you to become a fan of UNO Television. Located on the University of Nebraska at Omaha campus, UNO Television is a unit of the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media. Student crew members are trained and placed in broadcasting positions that give them real-world experience. Many students move seamlessly into jobs within the local television market. UNO Television, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
Breathtaking, electrifying, inspiring. Award-winning documentaries produced by UNO Television offer you a window on the history of Omaha and the world. Beginning with the acclaimed 2-hour documentary on the history of Omaha, If These Walls Could Speak, UNO Television has developed a reputation for producing high-quality programs that explore, educate, and enlighten. These outstanding productions can be part of your home video collection. For information about purchasing VHS or DVD copies, call 554-2516 or visit our website at unotv.unomaha.edu.
Cox connects and proudly supports the UNO Women's Walk.
Hi, I'm Michelle Roberts, Senior Women Administrator for UNO Athletics.
inviting you to attend the 24th Annual Diet Pepsi UNO Women's Walk on April 18th. Your participation raises scholarship money for female student athletes at UNO. More information at omavs.com or 554-2533. We'll see you April 18th on the UNO campus for the Diet Pepsi UNO Women's Walk.
Proudly supported by Cox.
Time is precious. Some learn just how precious life is when cardiac arrest strikes a loved one and no one is around who knows CPR. To help combat those emergency situations, the Omaha Fire Department and the American Heart Association teamed up to not only raise awareness, but to empower citizens. Sarah Whaley has more on this life-saving effort.
And lift. Lift the chin to move the jaw forward.
Over 600 people recently volunteered to participate in group CPR sessions.
It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I got to watch a video and they gave you more precise directions.
Doing our part to help educate the public, to help them take care of themselves. Not only that, take care of their families.
Doing so by focusing on how to properly care for family members in need.
EMTs, doctors, nurses, dentists, this is a standard that we are all trained for doing CPR.
I've taken a CPR class before, but it was different and they taught it differently. So I'm glad I took this one too.
The session served as a refresher course for basic elements of CPR.
I like doing the compressions because I thought it was 15 and you went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and they said it was 30.
And calming fears of what to do in an emergency.
I learned how hard you should push, so I'm not worried about that anymore.
This is more effective in getting a bulk of the population with the general knowledge of it.
Each participant was able to practice and learn on their own dummy.
The more time we can get them on the mannequin doing the actual hands-on part of it, I think that the better chances are they're going to have of actually saving a life.
Good job.
What we did today was just plant the seed to get them to understand that there is a larger world out there as far as different CPR classes, first aid classes.
Planting the seed to encourage preparedness to save lives. For the Omaha News, I'm Sarah Whaley.
Attending this weekend's CPR session does not make you CPR certified, but if you would like to become CPR certified, you can contact Omaha's American Heart Association chapter at 346-0771.
Fewer and fewer people are going to churches. A recent survey conducted has investigated potential reasons why this is so.
When we come back, we'll show you how some local pastors feel about the topic. You're watching the Omaha News on the Knowledge Network.
Only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information on issues that really matter to Nebraskans. Watch Consider This, a program produced by UNO Television to give you more information than your typical newscast.
Watch ICU Learning English on the Knowledge Network, Cox 17 and Quest 74.
Hey Maverick fans, keep up with the scores and activities of all your favorite Mavericks. Go to omavs.com to check the Mavs scoreboard and get the latest news about all the Maverick teams. Get live stats from the games you just can't make and read about all the action when the game is done. Check out the events calendar, sign up for text messages, or download a Maverick podcast. You can even order the coolest Maverick merchandise. You'll find it all at omavs.com. Go Mavs!
A recent survey finds that more Americans are aligning themselves as non-religious or simply just spiritual than ever before. As Brandon Gleed explains, some local pastors have different stands on this survey.
The American Religious Identification Survey finds that the percentage of people calling themselves Christian has dropped 11% in just a generation.
I can see that people are less religious, less identified with religion. It makes sense.
People weaving together experiences from different faith traditions.
The survey finds that 14.2% of Americans choose to identify with a generic Christian church rather than aligning themselves with an organized Christian religion.
It's not about place anymore, but about journey.
One of the cultural wars that's going on right now in our society is the institutions that have sustained us and kept us there, which have been very wonderful, need to catch up to the times.
This decline in organized religion is not limited to Christian churches only. But over the last generation, Judaism has declined over 0.5%. To attract new worshipers, churches are trying to reach those who have multi-faith-based traditions.
We've started a pub church that meets at a bookstore downtown, and people bring beer and wine.
The survey also found that 41% of adults either have or will change their religion sometime in their life. Reporting for the Omaha News, I'm Brandon Gleed.
More studies that are looking closer at the decline in individual churches are due out later this year.
The heterosexual dating site eHarmony has only accepted male-female couples since its inception in 2000. Now the site is launching a gay matchmaking service called Compatible Partners, which can be visited at compatiblepartners.net. The company agreed in November to start the dating service as part of a settlement with the New Jersey Attorney General after a discrimination lawsuit.
The Nebraska AIDS Project is holding a fashion challenge this evening. It's called the Rubber Fashion Challenge. The 21 and older event will be held at the Max nightclub downtown, and the cover is $5. 15 local designers will participate in tonight's challenge. The only requirement? 50% of the clothing must be made of condoms. Expect to see anything from tight-fitting nightgowns to scaly-looking bikinis.
Next week, we'll give you a wrap-up on the city election.
We'll also show you what you and your family can do to stay healthy. And as a reminder, you can catch our web extras on our website, theomahanews.com.
And for all of us here at the Omaha News, thanks for watching and have a good evening.
Take a look at UNO and you'll find a school that can pretty much be everything to everyone. We have that big city feel and a sense of community that creates a close, friendly campus. Our professors and resources contribute to our great reputation in the city and the region. So whether you're just starting out, transferring, earning a degree online, or choosing a new path in life, you'll be able to find what you want.
If your days get out of control, reset your attitude by setting your radio to KVNO, Classical 90.7. Discover your own personal oasis of serenity on KVNO, Classical 90.7.
UNO Television.
Students work with professionals who have all kinds of experience in the industry.
Lights, camera, action. Literally.
Get paid while you learn more about the TV business.
Work on all kinds of productions.
My friends who worked on TV Crew last semester are now working part-time at local stations.
Working on TV Crew is a great experience.
UNO Television. Student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.